Alright, what is up guys? 112 here, and welcome to the first video of 2026 for the channel. So with that being said, the first video is going to be talking about a company that I've wanted to do a video about for quite some time. I own several of their products and I wanted to do individual videos for each of them, but I pitched the idea a couple of streams ago about doing just an overview or a sit-down overview talking about their products, and a lot of you guys seem to have agreed on the pitch that I made for this video. So this is for you guys. So we are going to be talking about Super Action stuff. So I became familiar with this company when I first got back into collecting, when I discovered that there was a community of figure photography and diorama makers and stuff like that, and was finding these little 1/12 scale props that people were finding for their figures, and I found out that this company Super Action Stuff was making them. And so I own both of the food packs, I own several of the individual items that they sell, I own the arcade machines that they made, and I just recently purchased the vending machine that they put out the end of the year. So we will be taking a look at those, and I will be giving props to Super Action Stuff because the way that things are going these days, everything is getting more and more expensive, but the fact that the individual behind this company is able to make such affordable and quality products that we could use for our dioramas, for backgrounds, for our videos, for backgrounds for our photography, or just objects that we could put in our figures' hands in both photography purposes as well as for backgrounds for our videos. So with that being said, Super Action Stuff, I'm going to give you props in this video. So with that being said, sit back, relax, and let's take a look at Super Action Stuff. Okay, so just a PSA before we get into this. I am not sponsored by Super Action Stuff. I have no affiliation with Super Action Stuff. I just really like their products, and I've been a customer of them for a while now, and I just really like the quality of the stuff at the prices that they charge. So I just want to get that out there before somebody calls me a shill or something like that because I talk positively about a company, because God forbid we do that these days. But with that being said, we are going to take a look at the food and drink items first, and then we'll take a look at the bigger stuff like the arcade machines and the vending machine that just recently came out last year. So I don't have any of the other packs, like the Casket of Cruelty I don't have. I missed out on that, and unfortunately it sold out everywhere. The crates, I don't have those yet, but I am looking at getting one of those, so maybe I'll throw that in there whenever I get it. But yeah, the food and drink items, what I'm about to show you is a mix from both of the food packs, or the foodie packs as they were called when they got released. Now I can't remember which ones went with which pack, so we're just going to take a look at everything in general. But if you're curious about that, I do have a review that I did sometime last year covering both of the food packs. So if you want a better idea of what went with which, in case you want a particular color of one set of items, you can go check that out. But what we're looking at here is all the drink items that they sell. So as you can see, they sell beer bottles, soda cans, tall boys, water bottles, whiskey bottles, and beer steins, which I do have an example here of what they look like in terms of how they scale. This is the Romanki Gun Girl, aka Rebecca. So as you can see, she scales. As you can see, it scales really well with her. That's about the size of what a beer mug or beer stein would be. Um, Michaels also sells beer steins or beer mugs in 1/12 scale, but I'm going to save that for a future video because, excuse me, I do want to take a look at stuff for Hobby Lobby, Michaels, as well as Five Below, because the way, like I said, things are going, prices are starting to fluctuate, so we have to be more aware of what we're putting our money to in terms of our hobby. So this is going to be great examples of what you can find for affordable prices if you are getting into figure photography or you just want cool props that you can put in the background. There is also somebody that I buy props from on eBay that I also want to take a look at in the future, so we will be taking a look at them as well. But with that being said, the drinks are great. If you're curious about the sodas and stuff like that, I do have some of the extra soda cans because I did buy those for the mini fridge for the mystery machine that I still haven't finished. Maybe 2026 is the year of the mystery machine, hopefully. But if you're curious about how the soda cans scale with 1/12 scale figures, here's a Fortnite figure. Usually I use the other version of her, but she's currently sitting in the Robo Skull, so can't do that right now. But as you can see, they scale really well. That's about the size of what a soda can would be. And yeah, they're really cool. You can also buy these items individually. They are also selling them in packs as well. So if you wanted just a set of the tall boys or a set of the soda cans or a set of water bottles or the beer steins, or the beer bottles, you can do that on their site. They have multiple different little bundles of items that you could buy. So excuse me, and I believe those little bundles are like $10, which is not too bad because each of these items I believe are like $1 to $1.50 a piece. So that's not bad at all. But with that being said, I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way and we're gonna take a look at the food items now. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the food items now. So I do have some of them on this table here, and then there are some that I wasn't quite able to put on the table, but these are also a mix of stuff from the food packs. So again, there are color variations between these items, but I also really like these food items as well. I would also say that probably one of it's kind of hard to say what my favorites are for these, but I would definitely say the pizza is probably my favorite because of the fact that it's very Ninja Turtles, as you can see. Like it's got the droop to it, like the cheese is kind of starting to drip on it. It's got the pepperoni on top, so it's pretty cool. I think these are really cool for any of the Ninja Turtles. I know NECA, obviously NECA includes pizza with their Ninja Turtles, but I also like these. And the fact. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the food items now. So I do have a majority of them on the table here. There are a couple that I did leave off camera just because I couldn't fit everything on the Daiso table due to the size of the items. But there's a nice mix of food items that he sells. So you have bananas, you have turkey legs, hot dogs, burritos, chimichangas, apples, ice cream cones, donuts, tacos, and pizza as well. The pizza is probably one of my favorites. I do also really like the tacos, and the burritos are also fun, and the giant turkey legs are also fun too. But um, because I am a pizza fan, I think maybe that's why it's kind of my favorite. But yeah, these are really nicely done. There's a nice kind of like texture to the cheese up there in terms of the sculpt and the pepperoni. I do love the fact that each of the pizza slices has that droop to it. Um, and there's like the cheese is starting to kind of drip off of there. But yeah, these are really, really fun accessories. You can put them with a lot of different characters. Um, and the tacos, which let me get that as well to show you. The tacos are also really fun. So this is really nice too. There's like guacamole. You got the ground beef in there. Got some cheese, some sour cream on there. You know, a nice filling taco. And it does also scale really well with your different figure lines as well. Now the ice cream cone, I wasn't able to find the other one, but like I said, because they do bundles of their items. I was able to find a bundle that had the other ice cream cone from the food pack, from yeah, one of the other food packs. So I'll be able to replace that. But yeah, these ice cream cones are also really fun too. That you got kind of like the uneven scoop of ice cream there. You got the chocolate cone, chocolate waffle cone. So yeah, these are really, I mean, they're really fun little accessories, and they're like I said, they're really nicely detailed for what they are. Um, they have donuts as well. I'm just trying to quickly grab this stuff because I don't want the video to be too long, and then you guys get bored. But yeah, the donuts are also really cool too. Um, the chimichangas, the apples are really fun. Uh, these are also really cool too. These come with each of the food packs, and that is the giant box of pizza. Now it doesn't open, but it is cool that you could just have this kind of laying in the background or something like that, and it looks like your figures are about to dig in on some pizza. Now there are some people on Etsy and stuff like that that sell the cardboard pizza boxes that are actually like Domino's or something like that, and you could open those and put pizza inside of it. But these are kind of cool for if you're on a budget. Um, but yeah, these are really cool. They're like a nice, like sturdy plastic. So you have that. And then each of these food packs comes with one of these, which is, I believe these are supposed to be based off of iPhones, which is kind of funny. These are like old school iPhones. I don't even think iPhones have the home buttons on them anymore. Um, back in my day, the iPhones the iPhones had the buttons on them. Showing my age there. Even the iPod Touches had them as well. But yeah, you can see. Let me move these. Whoa, 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 whoa! We almost had an accident on camera. that could have been disastrous. But as you can see, they do have some detail to them, so it looks like somebody's getting a phone call from someone and it has the answer, decline the call. You also have the little, like I said, the home buttons, and then on the back it has the cameras, and it also has little power button and the volume buttons. Oh, and the volume buttons on the side as well. So really cool. You can also buy those individually if you want to. But yeah, like if you wanted someone to look like they're getting a phone call, you know, she looks like she's getting a phone call, or maybe she wants to take a picture. That's probably not the best. She wants to like take a picture of something, or she's like reading a text message or something like that. You have a lot of options. It does also depend on the figure's articulation. So if they have the side-to-side joint and not the roll of the dice in the wrist, then you can get a better kind of taking selfies. But yeah, that's everything. And then the turkey legs are really cool because they look like they got a bite taken out of them. You can see the giant bones sticking out, but they also have really nice texture to them. So yeah, like these, like the banana looks like it's in the process of being eaten. You got the wrapper on the burritos. Nope. You got the wrapper on the burrito. So these are really, they're really fun little food props. So yeah, that's the food items. Now we're gonna take a look at the arcade accessories now. So give me just 1 second to rearrange stuff, and then we'll take a look at the arcade stuff. Alright, so we're going to take a look at the Super Action Stuff arcade machines now. So this is probably my favorite part of the video because I absolutely love both of these machines. I hope down the line Super Action Stuff does more of these arcade machines, just with different imaginary game titles, because these are really fun. They really are. And it also is a representation of my love for arcades and classic arcade games and these classic arcade machines. I just love them. So yeah, so they both come with the same accessories, just different colors. So I'm gonna take a look at one first, and then we'll look at the other one. So we're gonna start with the Cyber Dagger arcade machine first, and then we'll take a look at the Cats with Knives 2 arcade machine next. So let me move that out of the way, and then we'll take a look at the Cyber Dagger one first. Okay, so we are going to take a look at the Cyber Dagger arcade machine. So this is 1/12 scale. If you're curious how it scales, here is the Ramonkey gun girl next to it. You guys already know. I love this figure. I really do. Yeah, so this is how she scales next to it. As you can see, she's on the smaller side of 1/12 scale, but she scales really well next to it. So I'm going to move her to the side now. But as you can see, this is really nicely detailed. These are stickers on at least the decals. So you can see it says the arcade machine. It has kind of like the Tron kind of grids going on there. I love that they painted the little coin slots, all the buttons, and the joysticks up here are all individually painted. You can see it's kind of like Galaxian or Galaga, which is awesome because I love both of those games. You can see it's the same decal there, but what makes these arcade machines unique is the fact that, like I said, they function. So you flip the switch on the back, and I did just put fresh batteries in this deal. So you put batteries in them and they light up. So you can actually have your figures looking like they're playing an arcade machine, or you could have this like sitting in the background like that, and it looks like it's functioning, which is awesome. And even if you light it from the side, look how dope that looks. It looks like an actual functioning arcade machine. You can see that light is really bright. Now it does take 2 AAA batteries, so you are going to have to provide the batteries yourself, as these do not come with the batteries. But luckily, these take one of the most common batteries that you can find. So, but yeah, this thing is pretty badass. I really like it, and I love that the light is bright enough for it to capture like the actual name of the game on the top of the arcade machine. So pretty cool. And both the arcades do that. And yeah, I really hope that in the future he considers doing more of these arcades, because yeah, these things are awesome. And I mean, there's so many possibilities. I mean, the possibilities are endless, really, with how much reuse you could get out of just this arcade machine. So let me go ahead and pull out all the accessories that come with this, and we will take a look at that. And I might have to break out the Daiso table. I'm gonna probably have to do a couple of different jump cuts for this, because I have all the accessories in a bag, and some of them are really teeny tiny, and I'm afraid if I put them on this table they're probably gonna go flying, so just bear with me. So each arcade machine comes with one of these foldable chairs, kind of like the WWE chairs, and they do fold up, so you could bash someone over the head with it, or if you wanted somebody to just sit down and take a rest, you can. These you have to put together, because it does come disassembled, but the fact that everything that I'm about to show you was able to be crammed inside the interior of this arcade machine is pretty impressive. So you get one of these chairs, you get this throwing up effect piece, which has been reused a couple times, but kind of funny that you get a barfing effect. You get a set of these. These are hockey sticks. So your 1/12 scale figures can play hockey, and they do actually have that kind of wood grain texture to them. I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera or not, but probably just fucked up the yeah, there you go. You can see it there, the wood grain texture. So you get 2 of those. You get this effect, which you put over a figure's head. This is like someone's kind of knocked out, like somebody punched Deadpool. It looked like the what's it called? Or well, no, it's supposed to be more like this. You put it there. Well, you got knocked in the head by something really heavy. You do get this acoustic guitar, which is cool. Now mine has some scuffs on it because I'm a dumbass and, you know, putting this stuff in bags and not storing it properly. But you can see there's a lot of paint detail on this, which is really nice, and that's 1/12 scale. You do get a 1/12 scale basketball. And you're probably wondering why there's a hole drilled out of the bottom. I'll show you in a second. You get a football, and even the stitches are painted on that, which is pretty cool. You know, remember Ray Finkel? Lisa's out. You get a soccer ball, or as people that follow actual soccer call it a football. And the reason why these have holes in the bottom of them is because you get this effect piece. So it's to make it look like, you know, you were kicking the soccer ball and it's like it's about to break the sound barrier. How fast it's going. So it's kind of cool that you get something like this. So something like this you would have to use a stand for. There's no hole in it, so you'll have to get one of those clamp stands. You get 2 sets of boxing gloves. So you get a set of boxing gloves that are in black. I don't know what the hell that is. I probably scuffed the fucking paint on that, to be honest. But you get a set in black, and then you do get a set in I think this is a green. Could be gray. I'm slightly colorblind, so I probably got the color wrong, but it is cool. And these have the little cat logo at the bottom, which I love. This little cat logo, I don't know what it's from, but it reminds me of Monster Cat, which a lot of you that are subscribed to me are not going to know who the fuck that is, but back in my day, Monster Cat was one of the bigger like EDM music artists. So anyway, fun fact, probably none of you cared, but yeah. But let's keep going. So you do get some consumable items here. You get a coffee cup with meh on it, and it does actually have coffee inside of it. So you can see there's coffee in there. And then you have a to-go coffee cup, kind of like Starbucks or whatever popular coffee chain there is. But yeah, it's really cool. It has some nice, even has the little kind of caution hot little sleeve that they put on there so you don't burn yourself. But yeah, so you get those as well. Okay, so these I had obviously I had to put them on the Daiso table. These are a set of drumsticks for your 1/12 scale figures, so they could, you know, if you have a drum set, now you got drumsticks. If not, they could kind of air drum. And then you get a set of headphones, which also have the little Monster Cat logo on them. And these are actually, I don't know if I could get them to work on here, but they're supposed to be like adjustable. So you can actually adjust the size of the headphones depending on how big the figures head sculpt is. So it's kind of cool. It actually works like real headphones. Alright, I think I got through everything that needed to use on the Daiso table. You get 2 of these. They're kind of hard to see. They look like Oreo cookies, but they're actually hockey pucks. 1/12 scale hockey pucks to go with the hockey sticks. So you get a set of those. You get a set of these, which are like air spray can effects. So you get one of those in green, and then this one is in a pink color. So there's 2 different effects. You get a set of these eyeballs. You know, this is actually funny because this is my introduction. Whenever I'm in someone's live chat, I always put these eyes, or if a snail shell figure is shown, because I'm a hashtag plastic pervert. You do get these, which are like an Oculus Rift. So those are the controls, and then you actually get the headset, and then they actually two-toned or painted the inside of it. So that's cool. The VR headset. You get a Nintendo Switch, which is actually funny because this is actually in the this is actually a Nintendo Switch colors. The Joy-Cons are actually, they actually sell a pair like this. And then obviously they couldn't put the Nintendo logo on the back, or the Switch logo, so put the little monster cap. But I have used that for a couple of pictures and it's turned out really cool. You get an iPad here, and then on the back of it you get that and the little camera. So, and I have used this iPad in some pictures too that you've already seen. You get a face mask here. You get a respirator. And then you get 2 of these spray canisters, which is supposed to be 2 of those. So I don't know where the other one went. But yeah, you're supposed to get 2 of those spray cans. Maybe I missed it by accident. Hang on. Okay, now I'm stupid. It actually does come with one. It actually does come with one spray canister, and then you just pull the little top off of it to put the effects on. But it's a really small piece, and I would recommend doing it with pliers. And once you do that, put everything in a plastic bag because you are going to lose that piece. I promise you that. Some of these pieces are really tiny, and when they get lost to the carpet monster, that's it. And then the last accessory is this camera. So it's a little camera, and then you do get an extra lens with it for a wide lens, which is really cool. And to swap them out, you just pop the front of it off and just put that on, and it's like an actual camera. So, but yeah, you get all this with that arcade machine. So pretty impressive. It is a lot of stuff. Mine might have gotten scuffed up, some of my stuff, but whenever you order yours, if they still have this in stock, I know that both of these arcade machines sold out on Big Bad Toy Store already. I don't know if they sold that on their website, but I know these do go in and out of stock pretty consistently. So but yeah, this is just one of the arcade machines, but the other one does come with the same thing, just in different colors. But yeah, I mean, that's a lot of stuff for, I think these were, one of them was 35, one of them was 40. Not sure why there's like a price difference between the two, even though it comes with the same exact accessory, just different colors. But there's that, and yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the other arcade machine now. Okay, so we are going to talk about the second arcade machine. So this is the Cats with Knives 2 arcade. So as you can see, very similar to the Cyber Dagger. One has the light up feature, same cabinet design, just different decals. I will say, after I did the part for the Cyber Dagger arcade, I glued these little joysticks in there, so now they're no longer removable, and I would recommend that to anybody who gets these. Put just a little tiny drop of Gorilla Glue on there and just let them sit for about 10 seconds. It will save you so much stress, because when you go to move these, the little pieces, these are separate because they come out, see? They all store in the back of this, so that's why I would recommend doing that, because the carpet monster is going to eat these. Trust me, I was sitting on a video call with GB and Miss Virgo the other day, and I was showing them this, and this piece just slid right off, and those went into the carpet. And I spent like 15 minutes trying to find them, and yeah, so yeah, I would recommend gluing those in, and then after that you're good. Maybe if you want to be extra, you could put a little bit of clear nail polish on these, just to add some more friction, so then these don't, you know, go sliding off. But as you can see, you have a different design going on here. You have the Cats with Knives 2 up there, and this is very Marvel versus Capcom or Street Fighter or any kind of arcade fighter inspired game with all these. So really funny. I love the design though, it's very creative. So same thing on this side, nothing on the back. And then of course you have the little coin slots painted on there. And then of course, to turn this off, you just hold this. You just flip the switch on the back to turn it off, and these do take 2 AAA batteries. So these are not going to come with batteries, you're going to have to provide your own. But those are the arcade machines. I already showed you a size comparison with the Cyber Dagger. Now I'm going to quickly run through all the accessories that come with that arcade machine, and then we can finally get onto the vending machine. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to run through this real quick. So you get another fire effect you can use. You get another vomit effect. This one has like chunks in it. Kind of looks like chocolate milk. Somebody threw up chocolate milk. Sorry if you're eating this while watching. Apologize. You get one of these, a spray can with again that Monster Cat looking logo. Again, none of you are gonna get that reference. This basketball, which is kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters, kind of like red, white, and blue, so that's cool. You get a soccer ball or football in blue and green. And then you get a football in like, this is kind of like XFL colors. So you get another acoustic guitar that's black. You get the spray can effects. That's one, and this is the other one. So just the colors are swapped on the effects. In the previous, you get a set of hockey sticks. These are kind of like 80s colors, so orange. And then you got this blue with the white. So you get a set of those. You get a set of the orange hockey pucks. You get a coffee cup here that says "Go Away" on it. You get a respirator that is slid under the couch. Grab that real quick. I want to bump my little Halloween Charmander there. Shout out to Hot Cheeto Fingers for being kind enough to print me that and send it my way. I have a bunch of other Pokemon that I have to paint at some point. There's your respirator. It's painted in different colors. You get a set of drumsticks, just like the other one. These are like a dark brown. You get a VR headset that's in gray. And you get the controllers that are also in gray. I'll be showing some pictures of all this stuff being used at the end of the giant photo shoot. You get a set of these brown boxing gloves here. And they got the little Monster Cat logo on them. You get a set of blue ones, which also have that Monster Cat logo. You get a silver camera, which is really nice with the wide lens, just like the other pack. This coffee cup, just like the other one. You get a face mask, an iPad with the, again, that little Monster Cat logo, this Nintendo Switch that's in a different color. You get the eyeballs. Get a set of black headphones. And then you get this little kind of knocked out effect. So yeah, I sped through that real quick just because I just covered these. These are just literally the same accessories, just different colors. So but yeah, the arcade machines are absolutely worth it. I think the Cats Will Lives 2 I think is $34.99, and then the Cyber Dagger one I think is $39.99. The Cyber Dagger one is currently sold out on Amazon, but you can get it off the Super Action Stuff website still. And actually you can get both of them on there, but the Cats Will Lives 2 is currently in stock on Amazon, in case you guys are interested. Again, I'm not affiliated, but I just want to let you guys know in case you are interested. So with that being said, though, we are gonna move on finally to the vending machine. So here we are at the end of the overview. this is the final item that we're going to talk about, and that is going to be the Cosmic Convenience Accessory Pack from Super Action Stuff. So everything in terms of accessories that I'm about to show you after comes inside this vending machine. So there's a little bit of a story behind this. Super Action Stuff wanted to release this during the summer of 2025. Unfortunately, we all know that the tariff situation was going on at the time, or started, and unfortunately he had to delay the release of this towards the end of 2025 due to the tariffs, and of course he had to fluctuate the price, which I still think the price for this is really affordable considering how much stuff you get in this. Same thing with the arcade machines and the food packs and all the other accessory packs that he's put out. Yeah, so right off the bat, the presentation for this is really well done. Obviously this is a vending machine that has been through it. There's cracks and all kinds of like weathering, and there's like dents and kicks, and somebody's had their head bashed in or something like that at the bottom. And same thing on this side, there's like burn marks and all this detail you can feel sculpted in the actual vending machine. And then on the back, some more weathering and scratches and stuff like that. So really well done on the presentation of this. And of course you can see little coin slots where you get your money back, the little keypad screen and the little keypad to put in your whatever the combination is to get whatever items are in here. And then of course the little door where you would grab your stuff. I really like the fact that he included these shelves in the back. And what I mean by that is on the inside of this, if I take too long, I'm going to put a jump cut here. These shelves are adjustable. So you can see on the inside of this, there's all these racks. So you can pull these shelves out and adjust them to the height of your preference, and depending on the size of the object you want to put inside this. And there's also enough room in here where I saw Sir Dork, shout out to Sir Dork, he actually put some sort of cube light in there, and it made it look like the vending machine was actually lit up. Now this is not a street light. This is a tea light, but it's a flickering one. But what I mean is, you could put it in there and close this up. This is just an example. You'd probably have to put more than one in there, but you know, if you adjusted it, you know, you can make it look like it's, you know, like it's on, or like it's barely functioning. You'd probably have to put 2 of these tea lights in there to get enough light to cover the whole thing, but you get the idea. So that's just an idea of what you could do with this. I'm sure if I turned all my lights off, it would probably look better. Yeah. So you kind of get an idea of what we got going on here. So, but yeah, so this is the vending machine. I think it looks great. But now we're going to go on to the accessories now. Okay, So, in terms of the accessories, there is a lot to cover. Um, okay, so we're going to cover all of the accessories that are in this Cosmic Convenience Pack. So, I'm going to go through and talk about all the effect pieces first, and then the um, the weapons, and then how the effect pieces are used through it. Now, some of these effect pieces you are going to need sticky tack or fun tack. I did order some off of Amazon because unfortunately my job was sold out of it for some reason. So that'll be here on Friday. So the photo showcase for that will have to wait unless I use whatever little bit that I have. Um, but you are going to need sticky tack for a lot of the accessories that I have shown so far through this overview. Um, so with that being said, though, we're going to go on and move into the accessories now, and we're going to start with the effects. Okay, so right off the bat with the effects, I'm going to start with my personal favorite, and that is this explosion effect. This is really well done. I love the mix kind of with this plastic where there's some areas that are kind of foggy that give that like more explosion effect, I guess, and you have these bits that are popping out, and as you can see my lighting is really good and it captures it already. But if you want a cheap little hack, you can go to Dollar Tree, get you back again a pack of tea lights for $1.25, and you can put that underneath here and you get an explosion effect. Or if you go to Walmart or Target, wherever they sell tea lights, and you could either get the flickering ones or the just you flick it and it just holds a consistent light. But yeah, this is a really nice effect, and you can, I'm gonna use kind of a figure I haven't used in a while, and we'll use like Lucy from Jada, and she's like walking away, she's walking and she's got that explosion going on behind her, so that's how that looks with figures. You also have this flamethrower effect. Sorry, I'm trying to move through this. I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible. I'm sorry, guys. I know it sounds like I'm like ranting and all that stuff, and it's hard to not ramble through these, but you have this really nice flamethrower effect. It catches light really well. Unfortunately, my only issue is that this is made of some really heavy plastic, and so when you use their little peg system for the flamethrower to attach the flame effect, it kind of starts to droop because the front of this is so heavy. And this is where I give Valiverse props, because he made his flamethrower effect out of really light plastic, and so when you go to plug it into the flamethrower and you go to use it, it holds really well, and so you have to use a stand with that flamethrower, and that's kind of annoying. So that's kind of my only nitpick from this set, is that that's really heavy. You also have this effect, which is kind of like an 80s kind of arcade shooter, where it's like it has the little kind of beams like it's in a 16-bit effect or something like that. So that's cool. You have this lightning effect, which is also cool. This kind of Godzilla or Mega Man beam effect. Some of these are a little warped. You can see they're a little bent, but if you heat them up with a little bit of like a heat gun or a hair dryer, it'll straighten it out. But that's just how it is from these being packed in the vending machine. And then this is another effect. It's like a honeycomb shield. You have this sonic beam effect. You have these kind of like cooldown effects. You get 2 of them. You get these smoking effects. One of them you need that has a hole in it, so you use the peg system. One already has a peg in it. Here's another one right here. You do get these light or laser sword effects. So you get them in 4 different colors for the 4 different laser swords. Red, orange, green, and blue. So you do get, so you get 2 of these. So you get 4 of these little smoking effects. You get this blood effect, like somebody's been shot, and that's in a translucent red. Now this you're gonna need sticky tack for. These little bullet effects. These little bullet effects that are in 3 different sizes. Damn, sorry. It's hard when you got big hands. So there's that one. And then there is this really little teeny tiny one. You get one of these, which is like an alien blood effect. And then you get this splatter red blood effect. And then you get these little burn, like laser burn or kind of laser melting effects. And these you'll need sticky tack for. And then there's these really, really tiny, like tiny little effects. So you get 3 of those little effects, I think, or maybe you only get 2. No, I think you only get 2 of those little effects. So that is just the effects alone. We haven't even gotten into the weapons that come with this, but already you see a lot of the value in this little vending machine besides the vending machine itself. So now we are going to get into the weapons now. Okay, so now we're going to get into the weapons. Excuse me. So like I said, you do get 4 of these laser swords, and the cool thing is that you can actually take the sword out of the hilt, and so you can use it as either you're activating the button for the blade or you're hitting the button to lower the blade back into the hilt. So you get that in 4 different colors. You get this little scanner effect, accessory, excuse me. So there's that. You get this really awesome old school Ray Blaster, which is really cool. Reminds me of Fallout, or like those kind of old 1950s kind of sci-fi movies, which is cool. And then you get this, which is the flamethrower. So all of the the ray gun and the flamethrower, they all have these little, they're like really tiny, these little tiny clear pegs, and this is what you use to plug the effects into, which I have taken pictures of all this stuff, which I will put in the little photo thing at the end. And then finally we get into another fun little accessory, and that is this Mega Man inspired cannon. So in order to put a figure's hands in it, you will take this piece out. You'll take that piece out, and it's hollow on the inside, and you'll pop a figure's hand off. For example, I will use the Fortnite Sky. So you'll pop her hand off, and you will slide the piece onto her hand, and then she can, oh, wait, I did it too far. There we go. And then now she can do Mega Man inspired poses with this. Oh damn, the lighting actually looks dope as fuck. Damn, Alpha knows his shit, huh? And then of course you can use those little pegs to plug into that little hole, and then you can use all the different effect pieces, which I already took pictures of all this stuff. So like I said, I'll show you at the end with a big photo thing of all the accessories from all the packs being used. So but that is it for the Cosmic Convenience set. So I'll let you guys see the photos, and then we'll come back at the end. Alright, with that being said, we are going to end this overview of Super Action stuff now. And my final thoughts are that Super Action stuff makes incredibly unique items for an affordable price. And that's what I love. That's why I will continue to support Super Action stuff. And I can't wait for the 3 new accessory packs that he has coming out this year. And before we do end this, I did want to do a scaled comparison here with a 1/12 scale figure next to this vending machine, and we have the Jada Toys Lucy from Cyberpunk Edgerunners next to this. And I'd also figure I'd make a little nod to Menjoza and his love for Cyberpunk, so shout out Menjoza. So with that being said, we are going to conclude the video here. Thank you very much for watching. If you're new here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe as we are on the ever-long journey to 500 subs, which I know we're gonna get there. It's gonna be a journey, but the top of the mountain will feel ever so sweet when we reach the almighty 500. And to all of you that have continued to support me up to this point, thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means to me. I know I've been very inconsistent with my streams and with my uploads, but sometimes life just throws so much at you that you need to take a step away, reevaluate yourself, and come back with a strong mental attitude. So that is where I'll end this. Again, thank you to everyone who has supported the channel so far and continues to. Your support means a lot, and I will be more consistent this year with uploads. And before we go, as always, take care of yourselves, take care of others, finish the fight, and 112 out.